First of all, let's talk about the game on Monday against Duke a little bit. After the first quarter, the defensive intensity that this team showed, where did that come from?
That comes from within. I think we're a team that's so defensive-minded. We had at halftime, I think Coach Ivey really woke us up and realized that, we're the number one team and we have to act that way. So when we came out from halftime, we were just blazing with energy and just wanted to show that.
Is that what she said?
I'm not sure, but definitely something around those lines, yeah.
This would appear to be a trap game. I mean, you've got Duke nationally ranked, NC State nationally ranked. Mm-hmm. You go to Miami, everybody thinks it's sun and fun and a vacation. How do you guys keep your focus?
We actually experienced that in the Cayman Islands, so we know how to stay focused, and we've learned from that experience. And then it's different. It's ACC play. We've grown a lot, and we're going there for a business trip. It's not about vacation. Yeah, it's going to be warm. It's going to be nice, but Miami is our biggest. That's what's most important right now.
Haley Cavender's having a terrific year. What else concerns you about the Hurricanes?
I'm not really concerned. I think we're the only ones that can beat us, and as long as we stay focused, I think we'll be fine.
This week, number one in the country. Does that mean anything special to you or this team in general?
Yes. I mean, we are such a special team. I think we've experienced that throughout the whole year, and then being able to be recognized as that is amazing. And then just, keep learning more about each other and just seeking higher and higher. I think our potential is amazing, and we're finally scratching that potential right now.
And then undefeated in the ACC. I think we've been talking about this for a little bit now, but there's the potential very much alive to go 18-0, first team to do that in the ACC. Are you guys thinking about that? What's kind of the mindset around that?
It's definitely a goal, but we're focused one game at a time. We know that it's a possibility, and we know that we're the team that can do it, but one game at a time. There's no rush. We still got games to go.
Outside of Coach Ivey motivating you guys, how do you progressively get better throughout games? It seems like you do that all the time, where first quarter maybe you're not at your best, but you realize it's a 40-minute game and eventually you do get to your best.
Yeah, we are just we're a team that's driven by winning, but also I think we recognize how good we are, and we're trying to improve ourselves every game. We're trying to learn more about our abilities, who we have on the team, and then just reach that. We're such a good team, and it's important for us to play that way every game.
Is there an art to kind of feeling a team out a little bit and then eventually pressing the gas?
Yes, I do think we start with we're just trying to figure out, okay, how are we gonna how's it gonna go, how the game's gonna go, but eventually we always pick it up and we always figure out. It's mostly our transition. It's just and getting stops on defense for sure.
You mentioned the Cayman Islands. How important is an early season loss? I know no one wants to lose, but how important is it early and not in March?
I think it was such a great wake-up call for us. We're an amazing team. Everyone knows that, but we're very beatable if we let that happen. And having that happen so early was okay, we need to focus and lock in for the rest of the season if we don't want this to happen again.
And same thing, to open the season, there were some injuries on the team, and now we're at a position of full depth, it seems like. How difficult is that to play with, 8 players that could play almost anywhere?
Yeah, it's a problem for other teams. We're so deep, and we know that. And having that awareness of our team is just propelling us forward every game,
How does everybody buy into their role?
I think because we're a team we want to win. It doesn't matter, who gets what, the recognition of all this. It's about winning as a team, and we have a team that can win the national championship. So buying into our roles is easy when you can win the Natty.
Thursday, there's one other big event, and that's U.S.-Canada hockey. Who wins?
Canada, of course.
What did you say at halftime Monday night?
Just strong, encouraging words. I just told him that because I felt like offensively we weren't really as sharp as I would like us to be, and I just talked about focusing on us kind of doing things that we normally do, play to our standard and our habits, and to turn up our defense. I thought intensity-wise, Duke, their defense was really, really aggressive, so I just talked about bringing our intensity level up defensively.
Was the fact that you were ranked number 1 mentioned at all?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
You know, that's not something I focus on. It's more just, again, playing to our standard and making sure our habits are where they need to be every day.
Does that mean anything to you now, being ranked number one?
No, I mean, it's a big honor. We understand that. We acknowledge it. But our goal is the same. You know, nothing changes for us. We just have to be prepared and ready. Just the target is a little bit bigger now because of that.
And I mentioned this to Cass. Miami would seem to be like almost a trap game. I mean, it's sandwiched between two ranked teams. You're
Yep.
down in the sun and it's warm. How do you avoid that being a trap game?
I think just from experience this season, they know that this is a business trip. Miami plays well at home. It's always been a really tough place to play. So always reminding them of that and just again, keeping the main thing is what we have to do.
And then right now, you're now 14-0 in the ACC. You're getting kind of closer to that maybe being undefeated, becoming the first team to ever go 18-0 in the ACC. Is that something at the top of your mind you're thinking about at all?
No, it's just focusing on the next, staying present and focus on the next 40 minutes, to be honest. I think there's a lot of pressure that comes with that, but just trying to be great every day is what we're trying to do.
And we kind of talked about the number one rank. You mentioned pressure right there. Do you feel a sense of pressure with your team now that you are the team to beat in the entire country?
No, I do feel like Monday was, that was the first time that we've ever experienced that, playing a game right after that. So now we have that under our belt, so we can just focus on getting better and taking care of our goals every night.
What's the art to getting better throughout a game? Because I feel like you've had some games where even the last one, you're down in the first quarter, but we know now that you can kind of flip that switch. How do you get there?
Yeah, I think it's an experience for this group. We've been in moments at Virginia Tech, so one at Louisville where they came out on fire at Pitt. So we've been in these moments where we've found a way to come back with our defense or to change the trajectory of the game. You know, it's always a game of runs. So I feel like once we withstand that first hit that we normally get from everyone, we do a great job of kind of keeping our composure and playing our game.
Is it the experience, like, because I feel like it happened last year too, where you wouldn't get off to as quick a start, so maybe you dropped a game because of that?
Yeah.
Is it just the experience, or is it anything else where you guys can overcome that now?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have to start better. I think that's something I'm always focusing on, making sure that we set the tone, start games better. But I think the experience helps, especially helps me to learn what this team needs, how to motivate them, how to change the energy of the game if it's necessary, and then for our captains to lead.
Cass mentioned Cayman Islands and how that was an eye-opening experience and a reminder to stay locked in and stay focused.
Yeah.
I guess my question for you is, how important is a punch in the face early in the season for you guys to get back on track and to focus on that and remember?
Yeah, I think those two games, they were obviously extremely tough, and I felt like we learned a lot from those games. I think as a coach, I learned a lot about my group and what I need to do with this team, and I think the team realized, you can't come out thinking that you can have any days off, because in any moment, it doesn't matter rankings, it doesn't matter records, anybody can beat you, and I think that was a lesson that we learned the hard way early, but I think that's really helped fuel us to prepare every game to be our best.
And you mentioned it's a game of runs, 17-1 run to open the third quarter is a pretty good run. How do you guys continue to do that, and how do you stop the other team while you're on those hot runs?
Yeah, I mean, they were so locked in defensively. Everybody either got a deflection, steal, and then they did a great job of making great reads in transition. I thought we fed off the energy of our defensive run. So if we could do that every game, I mean, that'd be fantastic. But always focusing on making sure that defense is where we lead and where we put all our emphasis in, it will help us offensively.
And it's getting to that time of the year where we're getting close to March, but you have to stay focused. How do you take one game at a time?
I mean, just always communication with that. And they know that I never look ahead. That's always been my messaging, that we have to focus on getting better today in practice and preparing for Miami. And you can't stay too high or too low. You can't focus on the past. You got to be present in the moment. So that's something I preach a lot.
Preparing for Miami. Haley Cavender's having a really good season. She almost single-handedly beat North Carolina State the other night. How do you defend her, and what concerns you the most about the Hurricanes?
They play well at home. They're offensive-minded, three-level scorers. Playing with a ton of confidence. It's just making sure that every shot is a contested shot. I'll try to put size on them with both twins, honestly, with Cass and Sonia, and then hoping that Hannah could do a really good job of kind of wearing them down. But just making sure that every shot is a contested shot and making sure that we do a great job individually against them.
And then since you're going to stay down there, let me ask you about North Carolina State. big game, another ranked team, national television, college game day coming in. What concerns you most about the Wolfpack?
Well, packed arena is a really, really tough place to play. They play great at home. They've been to the Final Four last year, so they have a lot of confidence within their team and what they do and who they are. So they know their identity. So it's going to be a game where we have to do a great job of defending them. You know, they have some of the best guards in the ACC in the country, so we have to do a great job of being defensive minded and then taking the crowd out. It's going to be a hostile environment, and so we have to come in with that same mindset and just have that road warrior mentality when we go down there.
Ashton told us that you guys are going to stay in Miami, obviously, and then Chuck said you're going up to North Carolina.
Yeah.
The 3-on-3 tournament that you're going to on Friday, how cool is it to kind of have this long of a road trip in the middle of the season? Almost feels like a tournament type vibe where you're going to be on the road for a little bit. How cool is that?
I think it's exciting. It gives me an opportunity to show our team Unrivaled, to support our alum that always come back to support us. And Unrivaled is an event which is really popular. It's really taken off in this first season, and it gives my players an opportunity to see what it would look like when you're on that professional world. So you can only inspire by being able to support those type of events. And I'm always obviously a big proponent of supporting women's basketball. So what better way to do that is to support our alum and Unrivaled.
And you have an incredible depth as a team. How hard is it as a coach to handle that depth where you can't play all the players on the floor? There's only 5.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great problem for me to have because you started the season with 6. So I feel like, and they all do a great job of contributing. There's no selfish player on this team. They all know that there's a part of sacrifice that comes with having so much talent, and everybody's bought in and committed to the goal. And so every night it could be somebody else's night, so you just have to stay ready.
Finally, we talked last week about what Friday night at Marion would be like, and what you anticipated it would be like. Did it live up to expectations?
It did. It was the Holy Wars. It's always that type of atmosphere, which is really exciting. And I'm so happy that Jaden made it back home. And it was just a great moment. It's a great opportunity. And they did a great job of just really honoring Devin and Jaden and Demetrius. And I was just happy to be present, to be a part of it. But again, like, they got a chance to write history for themselves and have their jersey, retired in that gymnasium, which means a lot to Jaden. It's a brotherhood. He's still best friends with all of his teammates, and the administration and president and principal. They've done a great job of supporting us. So I'm really grateful for that moment. It was awesome.